Hi everybody and welcome back to the channel. Sorry it took so long to get another video out to you, but I am not really good at the whole video editing thing. I'm still working on it. I promise it'll get better. But in the meantime, today's video is going to be 5 things I wish I'd have known about the keto diet before I got started. Hopefully these tips will help make it a little easier for you, but we'll see. In the meantime, please consider subscribing to the channel and click on the notification post below. We'll be back in just a minute. Go. All right, welcome back. First and foremost, I just want to say sorry about that incessant clicking noise. My dog seems to think that every time I start recording a video that it is time to play. So anyway, without much further ado, the first thing I wish that I would have known before starting the ketogenic diet is there is so much information out there. Do your research. It's important that you know what you're getting yourself into, know what the basics are, the 75% fat, the 20 to 25% protein, and the 5% carbohydrates. But other than that, don't listen to anything else, especially the first couple of weeks. What ends up happening is you're going to get inundated with so much other information and you're not going to know which one is the one to follow. I did the same thing. I lost the initial 5 or 6 pounds and then immediately started looking into too much other information and I got myself bogged down and I stalled out hard. So find reputable sources, stick with them, and go from there. All right, number 2, keep it super simple. Especially early on, it is very tempting to want to find 50 new recipes that fit your ketogenic lifestyle, and I promise you, there are 50,000 recipes out there, all in due time. In the very beginning, stick to the easy stuff. Ground beef, cheese, bacon, eggs, all that stuff, until you are fat adapted. After you become fat adapted, which is usually about 2 to 4 weeks, just depending on who you are, everybody's different, then start experimenting and adding in some stuff. You're going to be very, very surprised to see how many people can add the word keto to something and make you think that you can have all that you want, and that's not the case, all right? Keep it simple. It's going to be easier on your pocketbook, it's going to be easier on your meal prep time, and easier on your mental state. All right, number 3. Have yourself something that is a go-to for when you have cravings that occur. Okay, I already told you to keep it simple, but that doesn't mean that you can't have something to curb off that sweet tooth. Especially when you've given up carbohydrates and you're so used to eating just kind of whatever you want, it's really, really hard to go from that to 0. Find yourself a recipe that fits within your macros, that is preferably a fat bomb, because then you're getting your fat macros from that as well, and you're not going to go off the deep end and just jump back into carbohydrates. So there's plenty of websites out there. I can link some of them below for you, but it's not very hard to find. All right, number 4. Avoid the gimmicks and fads, all right? Urine test strips are not necessary, I promise you. It gives you a false sense of security when you see how purple the strip can get. It means very little to nothing. Also, exogenous ketones are not necessary at all. They have a benefit as far as some energy factors go, but they are not required and they are expensive as all get out. Stick to the basics like we talked about before. Avoid all the gimmicks, avoid all the fads, and you will be just fine. But not least, really keeping a good documentation of your journey is important. And I don't just mean scale. The scale is a liar. It will not be your best friend. Some days you're going to lose 5 pounds and then you'll go weeks without anything happening and you'll start to wonder if it's working. Make sure you're taking accurate measurements every single week. I would take pictures. That's really going to tell the true story of what's really happening with your body. But on top of that, keeping note of how you're actually feeling. Are you feeling more energy? Are you feeling more lethargic? Whatever the case may be. This will help you identify if there's any food allergies that maybe you didn't realize that you had, or certain foods that kind of interact with you in a way that make you feel more sluggish or make you have more energy. Keep that in mind as you go forward, because when you're going back to revamp and update your program and make little tweaks, it can be easy to go back to those notes and say, hey, you know what, cauliflower really didn't sit right with me, so I got to be a little bit more cautious with that and avoid the recipes that call for cauliflower. Really, really important that you do it. This is a great way to get to know your body, and keeping good documentation is the way to go. Anyways, I hope that you've enjoyed this video, that it's given you some insight. Like I said, there's hundreds of tips out there. There's a lot more information that I could give you. If you have any questions or comments about this, please feel free to leave them below. This is not meant to be all inclusive, but I really do hope that it helps you. We'll see you next time. Thanks.